Your Excellency, Vice President Shettima, my dear brother, the Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, you are passionate about agriculture. You have been the governor of Borno State in northern Nigeria. You have been a senator of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Now you are Vice President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And most importantly, I think you're an agricultural economist. So I'm a bit biased towards you now because I'm an agricultural economist. But you can feel at home here in Des Moines, Iowa, which is the world of agriculture. So please feel at home here. So tell us, why is leadership and political will so critical in feeding Africa, in particular also for Nigeria?
Well, leadership in every dispensation is absolutely essential. Not even in the area of feeding Africa, but even in the development of our continent. We are at the bottom of the economic ladder fundamentally because of our inability to add value to our agricultural produce, be it rubber, be it cotton, be it coffee, and the lack of political will and drive by the leadership to push forward the agricultural transformation of the African continent. There is a book gifted to me by John Comantoros, my very good friend, How Asia Works by Joy Studwell. It chronicles the meteoric rise of Korea, a barren outcrop completely devoid of natural resources under the leadership of the late President Park Chung-hee. Leadership. A nation falls or rises fundamentally due to the quality of leadership. And I must confess that right now Africa is blessed with quite a handful of quality leaders that have the drive, that have the passion, that have the skill set to redefine the meaning and concept of modern leadership. Abiy Ahmed of Ethiopia is a case in point. Bola Ahmed Tinubu, my boss, is a good example. Macky Sall, and of course, Abdel Fattah al-Sisi of Egypt is doing wonderfully well, just to mention but a few of the African leaders that are acquitting themselves very well. But I want to assure the gathering, a family gathering here, that my boss, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a quintessential 21st century modern African leader who is determined to redefine the meaning and concept of modern leadership. Be rest assured that there will be a sea change in the fortunes of the Nigerian nation and by extension the African continent in the next couple of years, because fundamentally Nigeria accounts for 50% of the population of West Africa and hosts 75% of its economy. So Nigeria is an anchor nation. Like you can mention Egypt with 100 million, Ethiopia with another 100 million, GDR, Democratic Republic of Congo, with 80 or 90 million, Nigeria with 225 million. If these nations work, plus South Africa and Kenya, and of course Ghana, Africa will work. And this is our time to shine.
Very good, shine for shine, good. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. Now, I remember when I was Minister of Agriculture in Nigeria, you were then the executive governor in Borno State, and we introduced, you have there the Lake Chad Research Institute in Maiduguri, and we introduced then the heat-tolerant wheat varieties. And in fact, to the Bollock family, one of the varieties was actually named Norman Bollock. There was one of them called Antilla Ganantilla, the other one was called Norman Bollock. And those varieties performed so well, and in fact, the same varieties and many others that were then introduced to Ethiopia that led to that revolution that we've just heard about from Our Excellency President of Ethiopia. Can you share with us, Nigeria is a big importer of wheat, and yet you have tremendous amount of land, and you have a policy for that. Can you share with us what you plan to do on wheat, in particular also feeding off from the successes that you've seen in Ethiopia?
Well, our target towards wheat production in Nigeria, as Susan Sontag said, food dependency conditions, other kinds of dependency, and so long as a nation is not independent of food production, it remains a less independent nation. Our drive towards wheat production is to achieve 50% self-sufficiency in food production in the next 3 cycles. It is inconceivable that in the year 2021, we imported wheat worth $3.23 billion. We are the second largest importer of wheat in the world. Locally, I'm not playing to the gallery, I'm saying the fact. You are one of our pioneers. You are our own Norman Bullock, our own African Norman Bullock. The ADB of which you hate, there is a budget sector support of $134 million, which is part of the African Emergency Food Support Mechanism of the ADB, which we had access. We have already procured enough heat-tolerant varieties of wheat, and we are going to drive that process by obliging supporting the farmers with the heat-tolerant varieties, agricultural extension services, and of course, fertilizer and wonderful agricultural practices. We hope to increase the irrigated area under cultivation to 500 to 1 million hectares in the next cropping cycle. We need to produce about 2.5 million tons of wheat grains in this country. And we are going to reach out to our farmers through small irrigation schemes, through digitalization, because we have an existing ICT portal that was used in 2012 to 2016 when you were the Minister of Agriculture, when we witnessed the lowest inflation in food prices in Nigeria. Whereby the entire scope of agricultural activities, from finance to access to inputs, market information, will be obliged to the existing portal of farmers, all geared towards addressing our food emergency. And the world is changing. We are an interconnected world, but the volatilities in the world has truly exposed us, and be rest assured that all the actors in the value chain will be sufficiently taken care of through innovative finance, through partial credit guarantees and crop insurance, so that at the end of the day it will be a win-win situation for the world.
Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. On my flight here to the United States, I picked up the Financial Times for Tuesday, and that Financial Times had a screaming headline, "The Return of the Rice Crisis in the World." And India has actually banned the export of rice, and there's a lot of concern that that's also going to happen in Vietnam, in Thailand, and other things, and that we may be witnessing, or we may actually witness again, the kind of crisis we had with rice crisis in 2008, which created global inflation, and in fact led again to the Arab Spring later, and all of those things. But yet Nigeria has, in this case, again, just like wheat, where you say you're going to do 2.5 million metric tons, a huge amount of capacity for rice and production and also to mill. So can you share with us what your government's plan is to continue to accelerate rice production in Nigeria?
Well, the beauty of the rice quagmire we are in is that we have the milling capacity. We have 62 integrated rice mills across the nation. Our major challenge has to do with the paddy rice, the inadequate paddy rice, and we need to produce 3 to 4 million tons of paddy rice to meet our rice requirements of about 2.5 million tons per annum. The agricultural belt of the nation We have 75 million hectares of arable land, and most of it is suited for rice cultivation. Along this line, we have already set up a team specifically devoted towards championing the cause of rice production. By supplying our farmers with certified seed, it's very crucial. Fertilizer, extension services, and of course the digitalization of our platform such that our farmers can have access to services, inputs, even finance and even market information will certainly facilitate our drive towards self-sufficiency in rice production. We are going to expand the land under rice cultivation. We have no option than to massively and aggressively embrace irrigation agriculture, especially in the very rich river basins spread across the length and breadth of this nation. Our target is to achieve self-sufficiency in rice latest by 2027.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. Now, yesterday you were with Her Excellency President of Ethiopia. Both of you were fantastic. We were joined by Ambassador Queen and several others talking about special agro-industrial processing zones. And I mentioned those in my speech. And you are the core of it in Nigeria, because you have 8 to start, and we're talking about how to expand that with mobilizing about $1 billion for you. So share with us your vision about the special agro-industrial processing zones and how this can help to transform your economy.
Thank you so much. The special agro-industrial zone was designed to create the enabling environment for aggressive private sector participation. Create the environment for private sector to participate actually in the production and processing of Nigerian agricultural produce, thereby enhancing value to agricultural products, creating employment opportunities, and also addressing the issue of rural-urban drift. Value addition is, Your Excellency, absolutely essential. We are at the bottom of the pyramid, fundamentally because we are net exporters of raw agricultural produce. The global coffee industry is worth $450 billion. The coffee producers from Colombia to Kenya to Rwanda to Uganda, what they get is around $20 billion. Germany, a non-coffee producer, earns about $45 billion from the coffee market. Our effort with the SAPZ is to create a system, an ecosystem, whereby the government will play a very least, a very minimal role. We'll only create the enabling environment, and my boss, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has given the authorization for us to set up an SAPZ Zone Development Authority, all geared towards addressing the coordination. It's a one-stop shop where regulatory frameworks will be taken care of, where all the loopholes that might crop up, and it will be domiciled in my office. I will personally drive that process to see that all the bottlenecks are eliminated towards, because SAPZ is an industrial policy framework and also a policy aimed at the structural repositioning of the Nigerian economy. It's going to be a game changer. And we have that moral obligation to see that all bottlenecks are eliminated, to see that Africa takes its rightful place in the Committee of Nations. I would rather seek for partners. We are not seeking grants or aids, no. We are seeking for partnership, for mutually beneficial relationships. It's my singular honor and privilege to invite our investors to come on board. And within the production clusters, we have what we call the agribusiness investment region, where that will provide the framework for our farmers to produce the agricultural produce every infrastructure will be provided. Ambassador Quinn was mentioning about Vietnam, a road that provided a platform for enhanced agricultural
So you're
production.
going to be hands-on on this and
Exactly.
in your office. I like that, hands-on. Okay, good. All right, as we close this fireside chat, Mr. Vice President, tell me, what is it from your heart that drives you, makes you feel you're going to be able to deliver food security for Nigeria? What's it on the inside of you?
Where there is a will, there is always a way. I believe that Nigeria is a great nation in chains. And I believe we have the skill set. Once we have the drive and the commitment and the passion to see that we have gotten our acts right. Ethiopia, they were able to get their acts right in the past couple of years. And I believe with the right leadership mix, especially under the current dispensation of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, I think success is not a question, it's not a subject of dispute, but a question of time. I'm very passionate, so also is President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And since you left the Ministry of Agriculture, we have never had a Minister of Agriculture who is as supremely competent as the one currently holding that portfolio. So be rest assured that it's a matter of time.
Thank you.
There will be a paradigm shift in our attitudinal disposition as leaders, and Nigeria will be a better place for all of us. Nigerians are the most upwardly mobile immigrant community in the United States. If they can excel in the US, why can't we excel at home? So I want to assure you, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, that Nigeria is open for business. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Hands-on, where there's a will, there is a way. Drive and commitments. We need paradigm shift. Get our act right. Success, it's just about time, and time is ticking. Thank you very much, and thank you for joining us for this session. Excellency. Thank you. Thank you.